What's good, friends? Alright, so I've been saying I was going to upload another video using samurai that don't need gateway for quite some time now, and part of it was me being lazy, and part of it was me trying to figure out how to deliver on that where you didn't actually need gateway. And I've been saying you don't need gateway for a really long time, but this deck really exemplifies that. Of course, it is one of those situations where if you have gateway, you're going to win, because gateway is a win more card, but let me just show you what I got going on here. So I took this to locals this last weekend and got first. It was a rough 2-2 Swiss, but got in on the 8th seed on top 8 and then won all 3 of those and took first. So, and I think that was more worth mentioning, not because it was first place, but because the players I played in top 8 are arguably among the best players that go to my locals. So it's a little sacky, I won't lie. I sacked some people, and I may have hurt feelings, and I'm sorry, guys, but it's what I do. So, it's Wind Up Samurai, and it's got a pretty normal monster line, for what you would expect it to be anyways. 1 Grandmaster, 3 Kizan, 1 Zanji. This one's super shiny. I know some people didn't recognize on a different video, but that's legendary Enishi. 1 Elder, 3 Chamberlain, 3 Kageki, 1 Kagemusha, 1 Squire, 1 Wind Up Hunter, 3 Wind Up Ray, and 1 Spell Striker. So obviously when I say Wind Up Samurai, it's primarily Samurai with just a little bit of Wind Up. This is going to be like your biggest thing though that you do on turn 1 all the goddamn time, because it's so easy to go into Zen mains, and when you have Zen mains on the field, all you need is 1 more summon of a level 3 monster, and you can go into the drop 3 loop. So, with Chamberlain and Kageki, that by itself, or Elder into a Chamberlain, Spell Striker with any of the level 3s, obviously, is your immediate first Zen mains. And then that's the one you use to get Hunter. And then the extra special summon is where it comes in. So, Kageki, Chamberlain, Spell Striker is 3 out of their hand. And you end on, you know, Invoker. Or Acid Golem, I guess. I wasn't using Acid Golem, but you could use that. Or Zen mains, if that's what you want to do. I think I said you make it for Zen mains, I meant for Zen Mighty. But, so that's what this looks like. It's not super weird considering what I'm going for. 3 Asceticism, because it can get Grandmaster off Kizan if Kizan has the boost. Kizan and Zanji back and forth. Chamberlain, Kageki can go get each other, so that's another summon. You can get Kagemusha into Elder. And the reason it's 1 each is because this isn't going to be your key play, it's just something you want to be able to do later. And then if Kageki has the boost, you can get Enishi also. So it's live with virtually every samurai monster in the deck. It doesn't work with Grandmaster or Squire to get anything, and then these guys, but a lot of it is going to be live. 1 Book of Moon to break up plays. Gateway, because I don't know what to tell you. Heavy. Instant Fusion, because it's another summon on level 3, and in the extra deck, I'm going to show it in a minute, but it has Dragoness the Wicked Knight. Mind Control's too good not to play right now. Monster Reborn, obviously. 1 Rhoda, 2 Dojos, because it gets Squire, and since you're going to end on Kizan when you do your little 3 loop, if you have Dojo, you can go you can overlay into Invoker, get a Kizan, 1 counter, and then Squire can get you into a Shien after the loop 3. And going in with only 3 cards against Shi En is much scarier than just going in against like a Zen Mines with 3 cards in hand. So it has the wind-up loop potential in a much more deadly and control sense. 2 Smoke Signals, obviously. 2 Uniteds, obviously. And the only back row you use, 1 Judgment, 2 Warnings. It doesn't need a lot of protection. Like, the deck is very standalone, it does what it needs to do and get out of dodge, you know? So, you have versatility and options in your extra deck, and your monsters really help you emphasize that, so. Definitely nothing you need to worry about in the back row. I mean, obviously Warning is going to be a problem forever, so you know, running MST might be for you. But I was looking at heavy being enough, and that seemed to be the case a lot of the time. So that's the main deck. Extra deck has one Shien in it, one Shadow, who I really love this card, and I actually wrote an article for TCG Player that's going up next week, talking about why I like him so much, so you should probably all check that out. And I can't add annotations right now because my computer's busted, and I don't think it works super good on my phone, but I'm getting my computer repaired soon, and I'm going to put an annotation somewhere here-ish to a link to an article I wrote about Wind Up Samurai, actually. It ended up being a little different, but that'll give you a much better feel for the deck. It's a few cards different, but it's pretty much the same. One Utopia Ray, because it is too good for making Utopia not be a liability with no materials, and also for mind control. You know, you can take their Utopia and make him. Roach is really good right now for the Chaos Dragon matchup. Invoker for the loop. Zen Mind's partially for the loop, but it's also really good in its own right. 3 Zen Mighty, obviously, for the loop. 1 Colossal Fighter Goku. And the reason Colossal Fighter is in here is for mind control against the Chaos Dragons in particular, because that can be a rough match. But if you can take a light Pulsar and use Kagemusha to make him, it makes your job a lot easier, because they don't get the monster back, plus you get at least a 29 because you used Kagemusha, and 29 runs over everything in their deck. So, in worst case scenario, you have to play defensive with it for whatever reason. Like, they use a lot of battle tricks, so if you just want to hang out in defense, like, I'm not telling anyone to take their games to time right now, but if you got one Landois, because you can make it with Grandmaster and Kagemusha, I don't think it is going to be a big deal, but you run a lot of spells, and controlling monster effects is a big deal. Barkion, obviously, Beast, obviously, and Dragoness for the instant fusion. And really, it can be so easy to overwhelm people with this deck. Like, you can come back off of nothing. And then, let's say you're going against, you know, if you're in a mid-game push and you haven't done the wind-up thing, a lot of the times you'll have a rat in the graveyard and, like, a dead rat in hand or something, and there really isn't a lot you can do about that. But even without Hunter, what you can do is go, like, rat to bring back rat, get a Zen Mighty, and then get rid of the rat to get a rat, rat for another Zen Mighty, and then we use that Zen Mighty to get your Hunter. And when you do, you now have a 15, a 15, and a 16. And if you have to push against a clear field for a little damage, or if you're just trying to run over a smaller monster, say they went Tour Guide Sangan, it can be really easy to go boom, boom, and then attack. Or, you know, I guess it'd be the 2 Zen Mighties and attack with this because it has a little more attack. But really, it's for one card, getting 3 monsters out. And then if you have to, you can even bail on one for the Hunter. So, like, let's say you're in top draw mode, you know, and they're like, top draw Tour Guide, get Sangan, attack for 1,000, go. You top draw the rat, get these 3. You can very easily go swing over for 500, kill the Sangan, attack for 16, you search with Sangan, oh, I guess I'll hit what you searched. And then they're back in top draw mode, and you have 31 on the board, and that can be a really commanding thing to have at your disposal. Another thing about it is that it's so versatile in terms of what you can get without that much commitment that you're going to be making a lot of plays off of that. But to give you a quick idea of what the loop looks like, without running too far over the 10 minutes, because I know it can be long-winded and most people hate that, so bear with me. But this right here would be enough for your loop. If you had Dojo, I guess it did better for you, but I mean, like, really, you could have Dojo, Warning, Judgment, Book of Moon would be good. If you have more Samurai in your hand to back you up next turn. So, again, it's got a lot of versatility in what you end with, but we're going to say Dojo just for the sake of argument. What it would look like is, you know, summon, summon, summon. And keep in mind, it doesn't have to be these either, like I said. It could be, you know, these 2, and an Asceticism would do it. Because you can Asceticism for Chamberlain into another Kageki, or when you summon Kageki, activate this, you get this from your hand and another from the deck. So, it can really go a lot of different ways there. But again, use his effect. Get your Hunter. Hunter can fire him off. So that's one out of their hand. This has 2 counters on it now, but the 2 counters aren't going to be super relevant because we only need 1. So we're just going to pretend it has 1. So you bail on that, take a card out of their hand, you're going to overlay, ditch, get it to get rat to defense, and from there it looks just like the normal loop, you know? So, no big deal. And you would launch this for this to defense. That's the 3rd card out of their hand. And you actually still have another rat in your deck because you only used 2. So again, later in the game, if you top draw this, you can use it to bring it back for Hunter, take a quick 1 out of their hand, or you can use it to do that thing I mentioned where you get back a rat to make something. So the rank 3s, I was being very sparing with my rank 3s to fit rank 4s and synchros, but you don't need to do that, and I kind of in hindsight think you shouldn't do that, because the more rank 3s you can get in here, really the better it's going to be. But again, you take 3 out of the hand in on this, you can go into Invoker, bail on one of his, you're going to get rid of the Hunter obviously in case you draw the rat. You can go get a Kizan, and with that Kizan, you can go get Squire off of your dojo. And that'll give you Shien. And he can come out and attack or defense. He's got 16, and considering Tour Guide is so popular right now, 16 is enough that maybe considering your matchup you might feel comfortable leaving it in attack. Chaos Dragon's probably not, obviously, because he's squishy as fuck and you're going to take damage. So it's definitely something to look at. The side I'm not going to talk about really. I could do another video if you want to see it, but I don't think it's super necessary to talk about because it's so subjective to your own meta individually. Because, I mean, like, let's say I'm siding heavily for windups and you guys don't have any windups in your area. Obviously, you don't need to worry about windups. Or if you're siding, you know, against heroes really hard because that's what you have, and I have none in my area, so my side deck is barren for heroes, at least for the most part. So, you get what I mean. But, definitely worth checking out. It's a fun deck to play. And I would recommend it to pretty much anybody. I know my friend Kenny is trying to build it. He did on Dueling Network, and I know my buddy Chris wants to build it too. So, I don't know if this makes any noise at a regionals in my area or something, or if you see somebody talking about it on Dueling Network, and if you get sacked by it, I apologize. I didn't mean to start that up for you, but yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have more videos later for you guys, and take it easy.